In this video dated March 6, 2014, we're going to take a look at the appointments, the appointment page, and everything has to do with the appointments. This is the sixth video in this series. Let's go ahead and log into the demo account. And to get to the appointments, we just click here on the appointments tab that takes us to the appointment page. Currently, you can see there's one appointment for tomorrow, March 7th. Let's just start from the top and work our way around. Select week. This schedule summary right here, or appointment summary, gives us information about a week at a glance. It tells us how many appointments we have, how many customers are going to be waiting on that day, the estimated time, the amount of work that we have scheduled, and whether there's an employee taking that day off or not, and how many. And of course, here's the date and the day that it's associated with. To move through these dates, we can skip forward 1 week at a time. We can skip back a week at a time, or we can jump back to the current week. Now, let's go back up here, which is what I was about to demonstrate a second ago, but I needed to lay the groundwork here. So let's say you want to go several months in advance. Rather than having to click through 1 week at a time, we can use this date picker. We could even go to another year. Let's go to 2020. Maybe somebody's really thinking ahead. February 28th, 2020. We can go ahead and see what we have scheduled for that day. And of course, rather than scrolling all the way back 1 week at a time, we could just click this week. And there we are, back to this week. So that, again, is the week at a glance and how we can navigate through that. Over here under the More tab, we have two options. We can mark the day as closed, or we can set our maximum daily time. If you remember from the company info video, there was a setting for the appointment max hours. This is the same thing here. We'd set it to 10. I'm going to go ahead and set it here again just in case somebody's changed that number. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that. Let's go ahead and create a new appointment for tomorrow. Let's just pick customer. And I'm sorry, let's create it for today. And let's say that this vehicle is going to take about 7 hours worth of work. So click OK. Now let's make another appointment for today. And we're going to say this vehicle is going to take about 4 hours worth of work. So that's going to put us over our 10-hour schedule for today. And you're going to see that the time changes to an orange, letting you know that essentially this day is now booked. And you see if we change this back down to 2 hours, it's going to take us under a 10-hour threshold, and the orange caution is going to go away. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to move this appointment to today. And we're going to show the next thing here as marked as closed. It's going to turn red saying that we're closed this day. Now if we go over here to try to create a new appointment, for tomorrow, it's not going to allow us because this location is closed on that day, so no appointments can be made for that date. Okay. Let's go ahead and unmark that. So now we're not closed that day anymore. So let's move over here. Over here, like I said, is a week at a glance. So let's select this one because it has 3 appointments. And you're going to see that these 3 appointments appear over here. Whenever you click on each day over here, you're going to get that day's information in this list. Now you'll notice down here, this other list, we'll refresh that by the little icon there. It says all 3 appointments. This is a week at a time. And you can scroll through that here. See last week, the week before, or you could jump back to the current week. So that is all the week's appointments, and this is not associated with this. This is associated with this. What you select over here, you're going to see over here. And this is essentially the same as this. So I'm just going to demonstrate these actions here because they're just reproduced down here. The difference is the information that's displayed here is related to this, and this is just a week at a glance. While this is a summary, this shows you all the appointments for the week. This time off, this is where we schedule our employees' time off so we can track that. Let's go back up here. So you saw me quickly create a new appointment, but I'm going to create another one and go through this a little slower. So, of course, the customer last name, that's pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and pick Sarah Dakota for this one. Again, my favorite customer. And we'll pick that vehicle, and we'll make the appointment for today at 8 o'clock. I'm going to say she's going to be waiting. And then estimated time, we could just throw a number in here. Now, email reminder too. The system has the ability to email reminders. In order to do that, you need to select the email address you want the reminder to go to. If you don't select that, then no reminder is going to go to this customer. And then days to email. If you leave it at 0, it's not going to send one. You could set it 1, 2, 3 days in advance. We're going to set this at 1 day in advance. And it should automatically send us an email since, let's make this tomorrow, that way we've got everything lined up. So 1 day in advance, this is going to send an email to this customer to remind them of their appointment. If we set it out more than 1 day, then yesterday it would have sent it, or the day before it would have sent it. But let's leave that at 1. We'll click OK. And we'll continue on here for just a minute. Well, it's already there. There's our appointment reminder. This is the appointment reminder that goes out. It's a courtesy appointment reminder asking them to reply or call us if they can't make the appointment. And again, to be removed from future emails. Just let us know, and ask that you mark their records as no more emails. Let's go back over here. Of course, if you've watched other videos, you should be pretty familiar now with the edit button. Allows you to edit everything that you just saw on the create appointment form. You could add the email here. This customer doesn't have an email address, but you could add a new email address for this customer right here. So while you're making the appointment, if you could collect the email address, then you could email them appointment, plus you'd have their email address for future marketing. Just click OK, that'll save that. Of course, we can delete appointments here. We could create a work request right from our appointment. And let's go ahead and edit this one. And we'll put in some instructions here. They're coming in from LOF and check tires. Click OK. So we click create work request. And there it is. The work request we just created. And you can see the instructions that we added to the appointment, the LOF and the check tires. And these are saved instructions. They were added to the invoice or the work request automatically. They were demonstrated in the earlier videos, but I'll quickly show you over here under saved instructions. You can see these are the two saved instructions. You can again add, edit, and delete these. You could just add it right to the invoice from here. You have to select it first and then add it to the invoice. So we've added one instruction. Let's go back over here, and you can see we added that saved instruction into this invoice. Let's go back to save instructions. You can see this add to all, and that is how you determine whether these get added to a new work request when it's created. And you can see these are both set to yes. We could edit them and uncheck that. Then they would no longer be added to the new work requests. Show detail. When this is printed on the invoice as a recommendation or a checkout sheet, this will determine whether this information is printed on the invoice or not. And we'll get into that in further detail on the video that deals with the invoices. I just wanted to give you a quick glance at that. Let's go back to the appointments page. Now you'll see that this appointment is now highlighted in blue. That lets us know that this customer has come, they've arrived, and we've created a work request for them. That way we can see quickly at a glance here who's arrived, who hasn't. Let's go over here into the more. We can jump to the customer, which I think you've seen throughout the other videos. That will take this whole window over to the customer's information. We can open the customer in a new window. Same thing with the vehicle. We can take this whole window. We can open up the vehicle information in this window. We can open up a new window for the vehicle. We can mark this appointment as arrived, which essentially turns it to that blue highlighted color. We can unmark it, and you'll see that it turns back to the unhighlighted. And we can go back here and mark it as arrived, and you'll see it turns blue again. So we can keep track of what appointments have arrived and which ones haven't. If we need to change the owner of this vehicle, maybe another customer bought this vehicle, you put the appointment under the old customer until the new customer showed up. You can select new owner. You could pick from one of your other customers, or of course you could add a new customer here. Let's just go ahead and change the owner to Dan Armstrong. And you'll now see that Dan Armstrong is the owner of this vehicle. You can send the reminder email, or you could print your appointment list in a PDF document. That might come in handy a little more down here, because you could print a whole week at a time, where the other one would just be the day at a time. I guess it just depends on how you want to use it. I guess it may be beneficial to certain shops one way and certain shops another way. Let's go over here, select Friday. Let's select Sarah Dakota again. Maybe we want to resend that reminder email. So click yes. We'll give that just a second here. The last one came pretty quickly. It looks like that one's here already. You can see we got both of them there, and this is the one we just sent. And again, it's the same email. We just sent it a different way. Let's move down here to time off. We can schedule our employees. Let's just say Daniel Newman's going to take tomorrow off. And he's going to take off from 8. And then return on, let's make it the end of that day. It's 6 p.m. for us. The notes here somewhere there. And let's just say he's taking a day off. Click OK. And you'll see it now shows up as 1 day off, and it turns red just to keep us alert that we're going to be short one employee that day. And again, we can go in here and we can edit this. Maybe he wants to start on the 5th. It's not going to allow us to do that because it's in the past. So let's just say he's going to take off 3 days next week. And there you can see it, 1, 2, 3. That concludes the video on the appointments and everything on the appointments page. In the next video, we're going to take a look at the invoice. We're going to start delving into that. It may take more than one video because that's kind of the heart of everything. We've been building up to that, the company information, the customer information, the vehicle information, the appointments. And then from here, all that information is going to kind of come together into the invoice. So that's the next video. We'll see you then.